Hey everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're going to get into 2 by 2 multiplication using what's called the addition method here. So we're going to take any two-digit numbers, multiply them together a quick and easy way so you can actually do this in your head. All right, it takes a lot of practice because this is a harder technique, so we'll go slow. So let's take a look at an example here. Let's take a look at 46 times 42. Okay, there's a lot of ways to multiply two-digit numbers. However, this is one of the ways, and like I said, when you get good at it and you combine a couple previous techniques, you believe it or not, you can do this in your head. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite 42 using its place value. 42 is 40 plus 2, so I'm going to rewrite the problem as 40 times 40 plus 2. You've seen me do this before, and what we'll do here is we're going to distribute twice. We're going to distribute once here, and we're going to distribute once here. And I'm going to show my thinking so I can illustrate the idea. So very first thing is we want to distribute twice. Let me write that down. So distribute, all right, twice, step one. All right, and then I'll talk about what to do. So what we want to do mentally now is you got to take 46 times 40. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, plus 46 times 2. Now, this right here involves my previous lesson. Okay, I think yeah, it's lesson 2. 2 by 1 multiplication, do it in your head. Okay, so we're going to use this previous technique. All right, so let's get right through it here. And I'm also going to use the factoring technique. I know that 40 is the same thing as 4 times 10. So in my mind, I've got to think 46 times 4 times 10. That's what I think. And I've got to multiply the 46 times a 4 and then attach a 0 to it, because when you multiply a number by 10, well, you just attach a 0 to it. It's easy. And then plus whatever this result is. So when I multiply 4 times 46, I'm thinking 4 times 40, not 4, but 40. 4 times 40 is 160. Maybe I should write this out. 160. I'll write it over here. No, just think four. Well, okay. So 4 times 40 is 160. All right. And then 4 times 6 is 24. So in my mind, I'm mentally adding these two numbers here. This is what I do in my mind. We do this mentally. So when I distribute here, when I multiply these two numbers, not distribute, multiply the first two numbers here, I go 4 times 40, which is 160. 4 times 6 is 24. I add 160 and 20, 180, and then I have the 4, 184. Okay, now I need to multiply that by 10. All right, and here I go 4 times, or excuse me, 2 times 40 is 80. So I'm thinking 80 plus 2 times 6 is 12, and I get 92. So I'm going to bring that result here. So this is what I do in my mind, okay? I multiply left to right using place values. So I go 2 times 40 is 80, 2 times 6 is 12, 80 and 12 is 80, 10 and 2, which is 92. So I have to add 1,840 plus 92. All right, so I know my answer is over 1900. So I know that 40, and 90 is 130. That 130 there is going to bring my 1800 up to 1900. So I got 1930. Well, I got to attach the 2, 1932. So notice that I'm using my place value here. 40 and 90 is 130. With the 130 plus the 800 is being 930, and then I have to end it with a 2. Now I know this seems like a lot of steps to do in your head. However, when you get good at this, you're going to bypass a lot of this because well, I usually go from here, this right here. I do this part in my mind, and I go right to here. I do all that in my head, and then so that's a mental step. And then I go from here to here in my mind, and then believe it or not, I could do that in my head, and I get my answer in my mind. Okay. It takes, like I said, some practice. Okay, so let me take a look at a different one here and do it a few more times so you get the idea, because this is the first time you've ever seen this. And it's going to take practice, like I said, to do it in your head. So let me take a couple smaller numbers. Let me take 19 times, let's say 13, okay? Now I can rewrite this as 19 times 10 plus 3. So when you distribute through, what I'm thinking here, I'm thinking 10 plus 3 in my mind. I don't actually write this out when I do it in my head. I think 10 times 19 first, and I come up with 190. And then I take 3 times 19, and that's 30 plus 27. All right, 3 times 19 is 3 times 10 plus 9, which is 30 plus 27, or 57. So mentally, I'm doing this in my head. So all this is the mental stuff that I do in my head. So 19 times 3, that's 57. and then I go left to right. Okay, the 100, I got 100 in my mind. I see that. 90 and 50 is 140, so really I have 240, and then I end it with a 7, so 247. See, I don't go left to right. I go right to left like you were taught and line them up. I go left to right. I'm see 100, the 90 and 50 give me 140. 140 plus the 100 is 240, and then I end it with a 7. All right, now let me just show you one more time. This is a video of the lesson, and I'm not with you in class, so let me show you just one more time, just to hit it home. All right, let's take 24 times 31. I'm just making these numbers up as I go. So this is 24 times. All right, so we have 24 times 31. So I'm going to multiply 24 times 30 plus 1. We're going to split the 31 up into two parts here using the place value. 3 tens is 30 plus the 1. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to distribute. We're going to distribute here and we're going to distribute here. Easy, right? So what we do is we take 24 times 30, so times 30, plus 24 times 1, all right, which is obviously 24. Now, this right here is mentally what you do is you go 24 times 3 times 10. Now 24 times 3 is 60 and 12, 72 times 10 is 720. See, there's from the previous lesson. Plus 20, that's easy, so 744. Using the place values, 20 and 20 is 40 plus the 4. You notice the place value there. So you get good by practice, and you do a lot of it, and then you go home and do a lot more. Okay, that's the only way to develop proficiency and also speed. All right, so one last time. Here we go. Let's try this one. Let's try 54. All right, 20 times 22. Oops. Times 22. We'll stick to the two-digit numbers here. So let's take 54, multiply it by 20 plus 2. All right, multiplying first, that's 2 times 54, that's 108. All right, 2 times 50 is 100. 2 times 4 is 8, 108, and then attach a 0. All right, then 54 times 2. Well, what's that? That's 2. Well, I just did that, right? 2 times 50 is 100 plus 8. That's 108. So you add those mentally, all right, and you get 1,188. Look at the place value, 1,100, all right, 88. All right, so you're going to learn how to do this in your head. The only thing you need to do is practice the right way, think the right way, and use some previous techniques, all right, like a 2 by 1 multiplication, and then you could do it, okay? So give it your best shot. This is Mr. Ainsworth. I'll see you in my next lesson. Signing out. Bye-bye.